Now, it was the early days of the monarchy in Israel, and Israel's first king, King Saul, was ruling in Israel, and the Philistines were in the land. They were dominating the Israelites, even though God had promised Israel the land of Canaan. And the armies of the Philistines stood on one hill, and the armies of Israel and King Saul's army was on the other hill. And each day the Philistine champion, Goliath of Gath, the giant, would come out from the armies of the Philistines, and he would mock and he would defy the armies of Israel, saying, "Choose this day someone from among the armies of Saul to fight me to the death, and the losers will serve the victors." And Saul, King Saul, and his army were immobilized, and this went on for 40 days. And then David, the shepherd, entered the battlefield carrying provisions for his brothers who were in Saul's army. And when David heard the Philistine mocking Israel, David said, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" And when King Saul heard what David said, he sent for David. And David volunteered to fight against Goliath of Gath, the giant, the Philistine champion. But Saul said to David, "You are only a boy, and Goliath has been a champion since youth." But David said the Lord had given him both the lion and the bear into his hands. He had killed them, and that the Lord would give the Philistine into David's hands also. And so King Saul sent David out into the battle, and David approached the giant carrying his shepherd's staff and his sling and his pouch and his 5 smooth stones. And as David approached Goliath, Goliath said, "Who am I, a dog, that you approach me with sticks?" And then Goliath cursed David and mocked and cursed David by his gods. But David said, "I come against you in the name of the Lord of the armies of Israel, and he will give you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head." And David took his sling and he whirled it, and he fired one of those smooth stones, and the stone embedded. It hit Goliath in the forehead and embedded in the Goliath's forehead, and the giant fell face down. And David stood on the back of Goliath, and he reached down and grabbed Goliath's sword, and he cut off the Philistine champion's head with his own sword, with the Philistine sword. And when the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they fled in fear, and the Israelites pursued the Philistines, and the Israelites plundered the Philistine camp. And this is the story of David and Goliath from the Word of God.